Most buyers think the home buying process starts with looking at houses. It doesn't. By the time you're actually touring homes, you should already be 4 steps in. And if you're not, you're setting yourself up to lose the house you actually want. Today I'm walking you through all 10 steps of buying a home, start to finish, in the order they actually happen, not the order people assume. Not the Pinterest checklist version, the real one. The one I walk every buyer through before we start setting foot into any of the showings. By the end of this video, you know exactly where you are in the process right now and exactly what comes next. So let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. I work as a realtor here in the Upper Cumberland Plateau region in Tennessee, and this channel is all about breaking down the real practical side of buying and selling. No fluff, no jargon, just what actually happens in a real transaction. And a lot of buyers come to me thinking this process is just find a house, make an offer, move in. In reality, there are 10 distinct steps, and skipping or rushing any one of them is usually where the deal falls apart, and buyers end up with regret. But I'm going to walk through these in order that they should happen, and I'll tell you why the order itself matters just as much as the steps. Before you ever look at a house, get pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. This is where it actually starts. It's the step most buyers try to skip, but pre-qualification is a quick estimate based on what you tell a lender. A pre-approval means the lender has actually verified your income, your credit, and your assets and is telling you a real number. Without this step, you cannot write a competitive offer. And in a lot of cases, agents and sellers won't even take you seriously enough to even schedule a showing. This isn't a formality, it's the foundation everything else is built on. Now, if you're paying cash, be prepared to have a copy of your account with your account details redacted showing your balance. If the cash is coming from a home sale, be prepared to give the listing information so that the sellers can verify you're a serious contender. Define your must-haves versus your nice-to-haves. Before you ever open a home search app, sit down and separate your list into 2 columns. Must-haves are the things that are non-negotiable. Bedroom count, school zone, commute distance. Nice-to-haves are things that you'd love but could live without. A specific countertop material, a finished basement, a certain style of home. Buyers who skip this step end up touring 20 homes with no clear direction. Buyers who do this step walk into a showing already knowing whether it's worth a second look. Find the right agent. This is a step where a lot of buyers go with whoever they know, without actually thinking about fit. You want an agent who knows the specific area that you're looking in, who communicates the way you want to be communicated with, and who's going to walk you through every one of these steps, not just show up for the fun parts. A good agent is doing work for you in steps 1 and 2 as much as they are once you start touring. If your agent isn't asking you about your pre-approval or your must-have list, that's worth noticing. All right, so the search. Start touring homes. This is the step everybody's excited for, and it's finally here. But notice it's step 4, not step 1. By the time you're touring, you already know your budgets, your must-haves, and you've got an agent who understands both. Touring isn't just about walking through pretty rooms. This is where you start testing your list from step 2 against real homes. You'll find out fast whether your must-haves were realistic and whether some of your nice-to-haves actually matter more than you thought. Narrow it down and revisit favorites. Now, this is going to be very market dependent. If you're in a market where the houses are moving very fast, you might not have an opportunity for this. But after the first round of showings, most buyers have a mental list of 2 or 3 houses that stuck out to them. And the step is about going back, sometimes literally walking through a favorite house a second time at a different time of day to see it with fresh eyes. It's also where buyers start noticing things they missed the first time, noises from a nearby road, how the lights comes through in the evening, how far the closest neighbor actually is. Okay, so if you're keeping track, we've covered the first 5 steps. Pre-approval, defining your must-haves, finding the right agent, touring homes, and narrowing down your favorites. And notice we're only halfway through the process, and you still haven't made an offer yet. And that surprises a lot of buyers, but this is exactly why some buyers feel like the process drags on forever. They think it's almost over right after they find the house they like, when really the next 5 steps are where the real work happens. And if this is helping you to understand where you are in your own search, do me a favor, hit like on this video. It helps this reach other buyers who need it. But let's keep going. Making it official. Make an offer. This is where your agent earns their keep in a very specific way. Making an offer isn't just picking a number. It's structuring the price, the closing timeline, the contingencies, and sometimes terms that make your offer stand out, especially if there's competition. This step also usually involves some back and forth. Rarely does the first offer get accepted exactly as written. Expect a negotiation and expect it to move fast once it starts. Get the home inspected. Once your offer is accepted, this is the step that protects you. A licensed inspector goes through the house from foundation to roof, and you get a report on everything from minor cosmetic issues to major structural or safety concerns. And this step often leads to a second round of negotiations, whether that's for repairs, a price adjustment, or in some cases, a buyer deciding to actually walk away entirely. It's uncomfortable sometimes, but it's one of the most important steps in the entire process. And here's what I tell every client. Even on a new construction, expect 20 to 30 items to show up on the report. It doesn't mean the home is falling apart, but it's just that the inspector is trying to give you the most information possible. This is a white glove inspection. Now, there are other inspections as well. Radon, pest, surveys, septic, the list goes on. If there's a doubt in your mind, get the inspection. Get the home appraised. This step is for your lender, not for you directly, but it affects you enormously. So the appraisal confirms the house is actually worth what you agreed to pay for it. If the appraisal comes in lower than your offer, this is where things can get complicated. You may need to renegotiate the price, bring extra cash to the table, or in some cases, the deal falls apart entirely. And now, does it make logical sense that this is where this is found in the process? Nope, but it is. Now, here is the caveat. If the home was priced accordingly, with good comps for the area, and if you and your realtor negotiated the price with the seller based on the market comps, this shouldn't be an issue. Now we're in the home stretch, the final walkthrough. Now this happens right before closing, usually 24 to 48 hours. I like to set mine for 72. But this is your last chance to confirm the home is in the same condition that it was when you agreed to buy it, and that any of the agreed upon repairs from the inspections were actually completed. And this step feels like a formality to a lot of buyers, and then occasionally it's the step where something genuinely gets caught. A repair that wasn't finished, an appliance that, is missing, damage that happened during the inspection period. It's worth taking seriously every single time. Closing day. This is it, the final step. You'll sign a stack of paperwork, your funds will be transferred, and the keys become yours. This step is usually much faster than people expect, often less than an hour at the table, but it's a culmination of every single step that came before it. And honestly, this is my favorite part of the job. Watching a buyer walk out of that closing with the keys in hand and knowing that everything from step one to here actually worked the way it was supposed to, and to be completely transparent, this is the point in time that your realtor expects to get paid. So the hours of driving around showing homes, the gas, the research on properties, the communication with other agents, it's all been for free up to this point. So why the order matters? Here's the thing about this order. Every step is protecting you from the one that comes after it. Pre-approval protects your offer. Your must-have list protects your time during showings. The inspection protects you before the appraisal. And the final walkthrough protects you before you ever sign at closing. Skip a step or do them out of order, and you're not just making the process harder, you're removing a layer of protection that's supposed to be there for you. If you're getting ready to buy in the Upper Cumberland Plateau area of Tennessee, this is exactly the roadmap that we'll walk together, step by step, with nothing skipped and nothing rushed. If you found this helpful, subscribe so that you don't miss the next one, and drop a comment letting me know which step in the process you're on right now. I read every comment, and I'll pull the best ones for a future video. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.